Handcuff me, please.
Yeah. Please arrest me, Vanessa.
Please pull out.
I've been very bad.
You your nightstick.
Jesus Christ. Hello? Hello? If you're picking this up, you are listening to Five Nights at Freddy's by Action Lag, baby. Episode 5. We're your hosts.
Episode 5.
We're your hosts. Neil and Shane. We're still trying to figure out how to do a proper intro. Okay, I'm gonna be honest.
Did I ruin it?
Yeah, you did. But it's fine. We're rolling. We're doing it live. Fuck it. We're going.
Cameras are rolling.
Cameras are rolling. Just like
Five
this
Nights
movie.
at Freddy's.
Five Nights at Freddy's, episode 5, baby.
Alright. So, you want to give us a rundown of the movie?
Yeah, sure. So, Five Nights at Freddy's takes place in, I think, the year, 2000. But first, it follows a troubled security guard by the name of Mike. And he begins working as a security guard at Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria. And during his first night on the job, he realizes that the night shift won't be so easy to get through. And pretty soon he unveils what happened at this terrible kids' restaurant. That's how I would say the gist of it without spoiling it, to say. But
That's pretty good, yeah.
Yeah, it's a...
I mean, is it really, are we in danger of spoiling this?
No, not really. I mean, if you don't know what
Five
Nights
at Freddy's
is,
yeah.
If you don't know what Five Nights at Freddy's is by this time, by now, you're living under a rock. So,
right.
Yeah, this is the movie. We finally get the movie, baby. After almost 10 years.
Yeah, obviously based off of a game, Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yeah, a series of games. I think there's 13 of them now.
There's 13 games?
Yeah, there's 13 if you split it all up with the VR and stuff. Yeah.
That I did not know.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew there was multiple, but I didn't know there's 13.
And books. There's books. There's all kinds of stuff. Dude, the lore in Five Nights at Freddy's and just game theory MatPat videos alone has created this tiny little indie game into a giant empire of video game franchises and spooky, terrible fan base. That's all I gotta say, man. The Five Nights at Freddy's kids, they're on par with the tablet kids, if you ask me.
The tablet kids?
Yeah, the tablet kids. It's the tablet kids, Five Nights at Freddy's kid. Pretty much the same thing.
Right, or the Roblox kids.
These are the kids that, stick their forehead against the glass and watch Five Nights at Freddy's MatPat videos are going to be fans of this movie, right?
Hell yeah.
So, basically, this movie was directed by Emma Tammy. So, if you guys probably don't know who that is, because she's only made one other movie before this, which was a movie called The Winds? Yeah, The Winds. And this is her sophomore film, Five Nights at Freddy's, keeping it in the horror genre. It's rated PG-13. Right? We didn't get the hard R that we were looking for, but honestly, I don't think it's that bad. When it comes to, horror, it's not too overly gory. It's not gory at all. But, for a PG-13 rating, you would be kind of worried that it's not going to give you the scares that you want, right?
Right.
Well, this movie does it in its own way. I mean, it is very, jump scare heavy.
I feel like it'd be scary for a kid.
Yeah, definitely,
this is a good horror, good horror movie for a child.
Yeah, definitely, baby's first horror movie, for sure.
For example, the equivalent of me watching an actual, scary, not suitable for children movie is the equivalent of showing this movie to, an 8-year-old.
Yeah.
That's how I feel. It's good for kids.
Yeah, it's spooky for kids. It's not too crazy. It's the concept's, goofy enough to where it's they probably might have a nightmare about it, but not be, too caught up over it.
A nightmare.
But, when you
They
were
might
a
be
kid,
scared to go to Chuck E. Cheese
yeah,
for
I was
a
about
while.
to say,
but-
when you were a kid, did the animatronics creep you out?
You mean at Chuck E. Cheese?
Yeah, Chuck E. Cheese. Did they like freak you out at all?
Is there animatronics at Chuck E. Cheese?
Yeah, there's animatronics at Chuck E. Cheese. They got like a bear. They got like all kinds of different ones, and they do like the music.
Oh
just
man,
like
it's been
these
so long since I've been to Chuck E. Cheese, to be
Yeah,
honest.
I mean,
but-
like if we went to Chuck E. Cheese,
But I
now,
will-
we would
I
get,
will
like,
tell
the
you-
cops called on us. So
Right. I will tell you though, I do not remember being scared when I was at Chuck E. Cheese.
well, basically, this is where Five Nights at Freddy's like the fear concept came out when Scott Cawthorn, this is the writer and creator of Five Nights at Freddy's, he like went to a Chuck E. Cheese and was like, yeah, this is a great concept. So basically, this is his baby. This is his movie. He wrote it. He wrote the movie with Emma Tammy, the director, and this is their like love child of a Five Nights at Freddy's movie. And basically, it's made for the fans, and hopefully, if you are not aware of what Five Nights at Freddy's is, you can watch this movie and maybe get interested in what they're trying to sell you. You know what I mean?
Right. A good way to watch a movie with your child and get into their, Five Nights at Freddy's obsession if they have one.
Yeah, no kidding.
If you don't really care too much about games, but you want to, get in your kid's life, be more, involved with your kid, with your kid's interests.
I like the animatronic robots too. They're my chicken one's my favorite.
The chicken
Yeah.
is my favorite.
What's the Five Nights at Betty's? I don't know.
We got a pretty, I would say a pretty, famous cast for, what feels like a B movie.
Oh yeah, I mean,
It's definitely not a huge blockbuster movie, but they've got some pretty big stars in it. Like Josh Hutcherson is one.
Yeah,
He's the
dude.
main character. Mike, everybody knows him from probably
like the
Hunger
security
Games.
guard.
And then we got Matthew Lillard. He plays William Afton, the guy, that runs the whole joint.
Our lovely Matthew Lillard, a horror legend, also played Shaggy.
And the other somewhat big upcoming actress is Elizabeth Lail. She plays Vanessa the cop, and other people might know her from the Netflix series You.
Oh yeah, she was in that, wasn't she?
Yeah, she's in season 1. She plays Beck.
Oh shit.
And I gotta say, Elizabeth Lail, she's mighty fine.
Yeah, I mean,
I'd let her buy me dinner. That's for sure.
I'd let her arrest me. She was a cop in this movie, right?
Yes,
I
she's
wouldn't
very
resist.
beautiful. I would not resist arrest.
I would not resist. Put him on me.
Handcuff me,
Yeah.
please.
Yeah, please arrest me, Vanessa.
Please pull out.
I've been very bad.
Use your nightstick.
Jesus Christ.
But yeah, I'm happy to see Matthew Lillard back in something again. I
Oh,
feel like I haven't
dude.
seen him in anything in a long time.
Dude,
but
I love
really
this
like
dude.
him, man.
He's been doing voice acting, man. He's been making all that
Yeah.
Scooby-Doo money. Like, holy shit, man, we're looking at robots. You know?
But speaking of his voice, I mean, it does happen with age, sure. But I was surprised by his voice. It's so deep and changed. I feel like I haven't heard from him in a long time or seen him do anything. So after so many years of not hearing his voice, and then now I do, it's is that Matthew Lillard?
Yeah, dude. It's called acting, bro.
He doesn't even sound the same, man. He got old.
Yeah, man, it's called acting.
He got old.
Yeah, he did get old for sure. Honestly, I thought it was a little deceptive how much they marketed Matthew Lillard in this movie. They were pushing him hard, but the only thing is he's only in it for 15 minutes, in the beginning and at the end.
Yeah, he's in the beginning for a few minutes when he's showing Mike. I guess he's Mike's career advisor. I don't know what the hell.
That's what I would assume. Yeah.
But then you see him again later in the very end of the movie for like you said, probably 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah, if that.
And that's it.
Yeah, they were really pumping him. He was going to be in the movie, and he's a pillar of this movie. He's only in it for 15 minutes, guys. So if you're going to see Matthew Lillard, this is why you're going to see this movie. You're gonna be disappointed. I was disappointed.
Yeah, I think it was kind of disappointing just how little of him we saw as
Yeah,
well.
whatever he was in, he killed it. It was great. Like I don't know if you've seen this, but like a lot of his stuff's being like turned into memes. Like,
I mean, if you think about it, this is kind of like on the same, genre or on par with Scooby Doo that he did. It's like
I mean,
spooky
definitely
horror, spooky horror for kids. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
for
Like
sure.
it's like goofy child horror.
Yeah, for sure, it is goofy. Do you want to talk about like what you thought about the plot? Like, do you want to talk about that at all, or?
Yeah. There's just one part of the plot that I thought I wouldn't say that it was hard to follow, but it was just like annoying to follow
Mm-hmm.
because I don't really feel like it belonged in the story or did anything for the story.
Yeah.
And it jumped around all over the place when it was talking about this, but Mike, who's the security guard guy played by Josh Hutcherson,
Uh huh.
the whole thing with his little brother being kidnapped, I feel like it really had nothing to do with the rest of the film and like the plot. Like, sure, William Afton, the guy that kidnapped all these other kids in that Five Nights at Freddy's, happened to be the same guy that kidnapped his brother.
Yeah.
But like, if they would have removed the whole his little brother thing, I feel like the story would have been the exact same.
Yeah, it would have
The whole
totally
flashbacks with him going to like for his going back to like see who took his brother and like I feel like all that was like pointless.
Well, if okay, so this is where like the difference between being a Five Nights at Freddy's fan and who knows the lore of Five Nights at Freddy's versus somebody who's kind of just like peeking into the realm of it. That's like a big setup for probably movies to come. To be 100% honest, like it only.
So you think they're gonna do sequels?
Oh yeah, they've already announced that they're doing sequels for this. So and it hit like 100 million opening weekend. Like it hit a crazy box office number. So it's gonna definitely get a sequel. But yeah, that's mostly like it's gonna build into it. Like there's some. I don't want to spoil too much, right? But it's Mike's family is going to be a lot more connected to William Afton's family later on, and that like little this little exchange with William stealing the little boy, I think his name's Garrett or something like that.
Yeah,
He
I
steals
believe it's
Garrett.
Garrett.
Yeah, that is gonna have it's gonna be filled out and answered later on why specifically he drove to get Garrett. Right, and it has to do with like Mike's like family. To be 100% honest, that's a theory, and Matt Pat theory right there. We don't know 100%, but that's kind of like what they're setting up for that. But honestly, I didn't like the dream sequences either. Right, like the whole plot of him going there and like he's not even really doing his job. Really, like he's paid to watch the place, but really he just goes there and sleeps.
Yeah, that's literally all.
Like it's like the whole he's not really doing any security things or fucking with them like more than like once or twice. Like I thought the whole movie was him like actually going to survive Five Nights at Freddy's.
There was one night he actually went there and did work.
Yeah.
And it was after Max, the babysitter, she went there with her friends and like tore the place up.
Yeah, and they all.
And he goes in there. He goes in there. He goes in there the next day and like cleans up.
Yeah, that's about.
That's
it.
not even security guard shit. That's like
more.
janitor work.
Yeah, and then he slept some more. Like
that's another thing. Max and her little buddies.
Yeah, that whole
I feel like
side quest.
Yeah, I feel like that whole sideline thing of like his aunt like paying them to go basically try and get him fired so he can lose rights to having his sister. I think that whole thing, while not really aiding to the plot, I feel like it was more so of like a setup
just to get some kills.
To get some kills and show what these animatronics can do.
Yeah, it's pretty obvious. Like it's horror cliches, man. You gotta have some they don't want to kill off the main characters, so they gotta throw in some cannon fodder for these guys to kill. It don't really matter. you know. And then it's like, honestly, that whole like sequence of the break-in and then the animatronics killing all the robbers, that's probably like the best part of the movie, like horror
Right.
wise. Like,
Yeah, I think that whole part was definitely the best. Like you said, horror aspect and like actually kills.
oh yeah,
Like I feel like that's the only like really like brutal kills that you see is when they're killing
I
all
wouldn't
those
even say they're
Max and her
brutal.
friends.
I wouldn't even
Well,
say
not
they're brutal. I would say there's one. There's one in this movie that's like over the top ridiculous on how what happens to this like Max in general. But other than that, like I would say the kills are pretty mild.
yeah, Max gets straight cut in half,
Yeah,
bro.
and it's so goofy how you see the shadow of it and it just looks so fucking fake.
Yeah, and that's another way you can tell that this movie was definitely made for like a younger audience. Is I noticed a lot of the kills were done like
Off screen
not they're
or
not really off screen. It's just out of like
yeah, you don't
frame.
get to see
Like
the gore.
like it'll show someone's like in a closet and you know the animatronic is killing them and then you just see like a blood splat on the window.
Yeah,
You know what
it's
I mean?
pretty tame.
Like you don't really see a lot of stuff. There's a couple things you do see, but
I
yeah,
think the
it's pretty
cupcake
tame.
gets the most kills in the whole movie.
The little
The
cupcake.
cupcake was the most dangerous one all along.
Yeah, and it could like go through the duct work and stuff.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
That
I do
was
like
my
that.
favorite animatronic.
Honestly, that's where like it felt most like Five Nights at Freddy's, because then you're starting to see these guys like look through cameras, and you get like the famous camera angles where they're like looking up towards the camera, you know, like from the game. And then like, you know,
Right.
them like going in different areas. You see Foxy, you hear his little song that he sings and hums. Like they have all little nods to the game, and it really is like a love letter to the original game of Five Nights at Freddy's. Like the entire set looks amazing. It really makes you feel like you're in Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. Uh, a lot of the vibes and the way they shot this movie makes it feel very like like grungy and gross, kind of old school, like in the game, kind of like, you know, indie.
Mm-hmm.
But
And who'd you say made the animatronics?
Jim Henson, actually, the Jim Henson Company. You know, the guys who did the Muppets. They're pretty good for making puppets. And
Yeah,
they did
I
these.
think that was a cool part of the movie was that there wasn't CGI. Like these animatronics, these suits were actually in the movie. Like
You know, honestly, they followed the
pretty cool.
rules of horror, where practical is always the best way to go. And they made the suits.
Oh, in horror for sure.
Yeah, for practical effects, I would say that the suits looked pretty fucking good. Like,
Oh yeah, the suits looked really
like
good.
I couldn't tell that it was a person in the suit. You know, they were all, you know,
Mhm.
they had actual people in the suits, but they looked great. They moved great.
Yeah, they looked animatronic.
Yeah,
for
they
sure.
100% sold the animatronics in those suits. I even liked the Springtrap suit at the end too. It looked really good too.
Oh yeah, that had Matthew Lillard in it.
Yeah, the one that had
William
the
Afton.
Springtrap suit. That one's pretty dope. I would say that I was hoping for a little bit more gore for when
I think that's
when that thing
you don't
started to
ever.
collapse on Matt. But other than that, I loved it. I
Yeah.
thought it was cool. I thought all the animatronics looked great. They used a little bit of CG, but you couldn't really tell unless you know, except for the one where the lady gets chopped in half. That's like fucking absolutely like top tier bad effect. But other than that,
Yeah,
like I enjoyed it.
I think it was probably the creepiest part of the movie was when I found out that you don't even get to see it, but it's just creepy to think about. When they say that the kids that were kidnapped, their corpses are still in the suits because that's where he hid their bodies.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
And just knowing that the kids' bodies are still in the suits.
You would think it would stink,
Yeah, you'd think it'd stink.
right? You'd be like,
And
oh, damn, Freddy,
that's
you smell
kinda-
like shit.
Yeah, it's kind of a plot hole if you think about it, because like the police never found the kids because he
Yeah.
hid them in the animatronic suits.
It's like,
But
man,
like no one ever smelled them.
yeah, they searched the whole joint and they're like, God damn, there's no kids in this pizzeria and those fucking animatronics smell like ass.
This
Well,
pizza place smells like shit.
smells like shit, but you know, whatever. I'm no health inspector. I'm a fucking cop.
Your pizza
Carry
fucking
on.
stinks, bro.
And then,
You need to clean the
then
oven.
Matthew Lillard's like, thanks, man. I'm gonna go kill more kids. And he's like, "What'd you say?" He's like, "I didn't mean it."
How do you feel about the movie overall, though?
Honestly, for kids, like I give it a better point because I know the lore and I know what they're trying to set up, and I would give it a 6.5 out of 10. This is not I wouldn't say this is like groundbreaking. It's not the most amazing movie ever. It's pretty mild, but like for kids, a great first like horror movie, baby's first horror movie, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I would give it a 6.5. Like out of 10, 6.5. I feel like that's a fair grade.
That's not too bad, yeah.
Yeah, like
I think the movie was definitely pretty mid, very average. Like I said earlier, the horror aspect felt goofy, but then again, I understand it's targeted for a younger audience. That's their demographic. And the plot felt a bit jagged at times, like going back and forth to the past in his dream. Felt like it could have been done smoother. And the characters, I didn't really like any of the characters except for Matthew Lillard as William Afton. And
I thought I thought Josh Hutcherson tried to do the best that he could with what they gave him, but he's just a weird dude who has PTSD and beats the shit out of a dad in front of his kid. Like that's like the most interesting part about him. And then after that, it's just these.
Well, it's because he's really sensitive.
Around. Oh, he's not really he doesn't react like immediately when he finds out that ghosts are real and these animatronics are being like run by ghosts. He's just like, oh, that's weird, dude. Well, I'm gonna go clock out.
I'm gonna go clock out. And then he comes back, even though he knows this place is haunted.
Yeah, it's like he tried the best he could do.
As I was saying though, I liked Matthew Lillard as William Afton, and I liked Elizabeth Lail as Vanessa, because one, like I said, she ain't hard to look at, and I also liked her from the show You.
Yeah, she's
so
great.
I think it was cool to get her casted in, and go out of the norm and have a female cop instead of a male cop. It's usually a male cop in a lot of movies. So.
Yeah, man, this was super hot.
But yeah, and then like you said, Josh Hutcherson, he did okay.
Yeah, he did.
But all the other characters though, they didn't. I don't know.
The little girl was absolutely horrible.
Yeah, his little sister, her acting, bless her heart, she's just a little girl, but her acting was pretty bad.
Yeah, it was bad. Like, don't get me wrong, she's a kid, it's a movie, but like,
right.
She's no Dakota Fanning.
Like she had the kind of see, that's a good example. Dakota Fanning, when she was even younger than this girl is, she acted great.
Yeah,
she was a child star, but this girl, you could like tell whenever she was like talking, she'd be like, "But Mike, why are you going to work tonight?" Like it was like just.
They are my friends. Come on, Freddy, let's build a
acting
fort.
Was horrible.
Yay!
I don't want to judge a little girl too harshly, but
dude, I'm an asshole. I'm just gonna be 100% honest. I'm gonna judge her harshly because what can you say, man? I don't know what to say. It's a movie. I gotta be mean. She's not great, and she's kind of distracting. That's really like the worst of it. I wouldn't say she's like horrible, but she's very distracting. It kind of takes you out of the movie.
But to get back on track with my my overall thoughts, I would probably rate it. I would say 4.
4?
Coming from no.
Did you say
4 as an F. No, 4 as an FOR.
Oh, okay.
I was gonna say for an adult, like coming from an adult's perspective. I would give it probably like a 5.5.
5.5 average.
And that's actually what IMDb rated it as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, look at them.
So I would agree with them. But if I had to rate it like, for something your kid to watch, I'd probably agree with you. Probably like a 6 or 6.5.
Yeah, it's not
It's a
bad.
good show for a kid.
But I'm definitely not gonna watch it again. Like
Yeah, no.
Five Nights at Freddy's
it's a one and
is
done.
on Netflix. I'm gonna be like, oh man, what else is on?
Am I interested in the sequels? Probably not.
Oh, maybe. I mean, I would go see the sequel, but I'm definitely not gonna watch the
I mean,
movie
I would
again.
I'd probably wait to see how the sequels do.
It just
And
depends
just
on what they
look
cover,
up synopsis.
man. It
and
gets a
stuff
lot
on
more
here.
gory. I'd like to see a lot gorier shit, man. The Five Nights at Freddy's stuff is pretty gory, right? Like the whole concept of a animatronic like shoving you into a suit that's full of already robotic parts and like mashing you into paste. That's supposed to be pretty gory, and these guys, it was pretty tame. And I want to see him kick it up a notch, but that's just the horror fan in me. So
yeah, I feel like it's they intended that. Like I said, I think their demographic was a younger audience.
Yeah,
so
I know.
they don't want to mash people up into paste.
I'm jaded.
Like 7-year-olds.
Dude, I'm jaded. I'm sorry. These kids need to see it. They need to see the mash up into the paste, the messed up stuff. Make the next one rated R, baby.
They need to see what Chucky from Chuck E. Cheese can really do.
Yeah, dude, fucking Chucky. That's not pepperoni on your pizza. It's nipples.
It's nipples. Look closer.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're gonna call it here, folks.
Yeah, guys. That's our Five Nights at Freddy's review / talk.
Yeah, not super long of an episode, but
we're trying to name them out. We're aiming for 30 minutes a pop. We're
at least 30. Yeah,
or getting close to it. We're working on it. We'll try to get it next week. Hit that number. But you're gonna check us out at Action Lag, at our Discord. You can check us out at TikTok, Twitter, YouTube, all of it. Check us out. Send us some emails at actionlag@gmail.com. Tell us what you want to talk about. What if you liked our opinion? If you didn't agree, you can tell me that I'm an asshole for making fun of that little kid. She's a terrible actor. I'm not taking it back. That's all I gotta say. What do you gotta say, Shane? Tell the people something.
I think you did great.
Awesome, cool.
I don't have anything else to add. Yeah, we'll see you next episode 6,
yeah,
y'all.
Yeah, baby, episode 6. Woo!
Peace.